We're back.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, the motion picture you're about to see contains scenes so terrifying, the public must be given grave warning.
Hello and good afternoon. We're
Hi.
back.
Yay!
That is right. It's been 3 months, guys. Life kind of got in the way for me. I'm going back to school, so it was a little hard to be able to go back to school, do the course load, the workload for the courses, and then still run a proper podcast. But we're back. It is the Bloody Binge Movie Show. I am your host, Sewer Dweller, and joining me as always, Friday.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy you're back.
I am very glad to be back too. I have missed doing this. I've had some ideas, I guess you could say, for the show. I've got a bunch of movies picked out for the next month or so. We've had a lot going down in the past couple of months, horror movie wise. Here, we've been to a convention. I don't know if you haven't watched it, go to the YouTube page. I did almost a 30-minute video on our convention hall. Didn't even show everything we got, but we bought 20 movies from Days of the Dead. Like I spent I spent over like $200 on movies and that, which I've said before. If I'm going to a horror movie convention and you're an independent filmmaker that has your movies there, I'm buying your movie. I that's what I go for. The wife, she likes to take the ferrets around. If you've been to Days of the Dead or Horror Hound, you know who we are. We're the ferret people. But she likes to take her ferrets around. The celebrities love them. Some of them, we've had a couple beg us to come to Nightmare Weekend in Cleveland on the Labor Day weekend next month. So we are looking into doing that. We've got Horror Hound coming up in September. And this year for the first, I take back, hold on. There's Scarefest in October down in Lexington, Kentucky. And for the first time in Indianapolis, Days of the Dead is having a second convention in Indianapolis, and it is going to be a Christmas horror convention in December. So it's going to be between that, working the haunt, it's going to be a very busy couple of months. But guys, we're back, and speaking of Christmas, it is July. So we are going to do our annual Christmas in July episode. Which is weird because in all honesty, this really isn't a Christmas movie.
Not whatsoever. There's just a Christmas ornament, so to speak.
Yeah. And we'll get into that when we get into the movie. But last year we did Killing Tree, which, again, that movie was... if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that episode. You'll see me cussing and screaming a lot, because that movie was that Killing Tree was god awful. Um, and a lot of it didn't make sense. But if you like fist fighting Christmas trees, you might enjoy it. But I digress because it is Bloody Binge. So what is the Bloody Binge movie show without horror movie and haunted house news?
Ooh, and we're getting into the season. There's plenty coming up.
Which is why most of this news segment is going to be haunted house centered. There are a couple of horror movie news stories we need to talk about, but it is going to be haunted house centered, haunted industry centered, I guess you would say, because we've missed a few weeks and there's a lot going on, especially with Universal Horror, excuse me, Halloween Horror Nights announcing their houses. So let's go ahead and dive into this. The first story we're going to talk about, and this is something I'm pretty sure everybody knows already. Annabelle's on tour. The actual Annabelle from the Warrens Museum.
Yep.
I don't know how a lot of people feel about the Warrens. I know there's mixed reactions for them, especially since the movie came out, and a lot of people get an opinion about the Warrens without actually looking in to the actual stories of the movies. The biggest and the greatest example I can always give is Part 2, Conjuring 2, the Enfield Poltergeist. Is completely fabricated. There's nothing true about that movie, except for the actual haunting itself. Because Ed Warren, when he showed up, he was asked to leave. They told him he needed to go because Ed started immediately talking about how they can make money off of the haunting. So from that, a lot of his stuff, I don't believe anything. Lorraine, I'm not gonna. I don't pass judgment on Lorraine. Lorraine, I think, got drug into it and a lot of it, and I think she was genuine with a lot of what she did and a lot of what she said. But I do think Ed Warren in general was a scam artist. When Ed and Lorraine died, I think when Lorraine died, Ed died way before, like a long time before Lorraine did. Lorraine just passed away within the past 3 years, I believe. They left custody. Go ahead.
I think it's been recently.
Yeah, it's been within the past 5 at least, but I think it's been. I think she died in, might be longer than that. I think it was like 2019. But they left custody of Annabelle in the, I guess technically, to their son-in-law. I can't remember, Tony Sparrow, I think his name is, or something like that. Who decided it was a good idea to take her on tour?
Again.
Now, yes. That's the funny thing. If you're watching these TikToks and all this social media and that, people losing their minds about it. Guys, Annabelle's been on tour for like 3 years. Like, she's been on tour for a while. The whole museum has. Well, this past weekend, they brought her to Gettysburg. And they put her in probably one of the most haunted buildings in Gettysburg, the Civil War Museum, a.k.a. the Old Orphanage. Jen, do you know anything about the story of the orphanage in Gettysburg?
No, not really. I just know multiple places have burned down.
Yeah, from Annabelle, yeah, that was in Louisiana. Like 2 plantations burned down. The orphanage in Gettysburg, it's like I said, it's the Civil War Museum now, but the basement, I think they still do like ghost tours and things like that through there because it's a very tragic, terrible story. It is your typical orphan, I guess the madam of the orphanage, the lady who ran it was extremely abusive. To the point where they legitimately found bones of children in the basement. She was locking him in the basement, like chaining him to the wall and stuff like that. There's a lot of it'd be a whole episode if I went into the whole story of the orphanage. But it is said to be an extremely haunted place, especially in Gettysburg, which is filled with haunted places. Like some of the creepiest footage I've ever gotten or experiences that I've ever had have been in Gettysburg. But once they got there, all of a sudden everybody, I guess while they were waiting in line to see Annabelle, their phones started going off. Because for whatever reason, the 911 system in Pennsylvania went down. Like the whole 911 system just went down all of a sudden.
Interesting.
Well, also over the weekend, her handler passed away suddenly. Dan Rivera, I think it's Dan Rivera, was I believe the guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Dan Rivera. I've seen him before in a couple of things. I can't really remember it, but he was only 54. I think he passed away Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday he passed away?
Yes.
Like all of a sudden, and everybody's got their own opinions, of course. Did he piss Annabelle off? Was he trying to leave? Was he trying to go do something else? Who knows? It could just be a tragic coincidence. But yeah, Dan Rivera, rest in peace, 54 years old. And will go down in history as the guy who handled Annabelle. So, moving on to our first story. Let me get my websites up. So, it was announced today, actually. Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights announced their newest house today. And what a house. This is going to be. They are bringing Art the Clown to Universal Studios. I believe it is both Hollywood and Orlando. It is at least Orlando. I got the website up. It is at least Orlando, but I think it was probably going to end up being both. Art is basically one of the most popular slasher out there right now. In all honesty,
Yes.
like if you go to a convention, you're going to see at least 30 people dressed up as Art the Clown. I love all the movies. All three movies are great. I will say I've met everybody in the cast this past year at the conventions. I don't think I've actually got to go up and talk to Lauren Lavera. Sienna Shaw. Basically the heroine of the movie, the final girl, whatever you want to call her. But David Howard Thornton is like the nicest guy in the world. David Howard Thornton would be the guy who plays Art. He's the nicest guy in the world. Samantha Scafidi, who plays Vicky, absolutely loves the ferrets, by the way. Like she asked, because she knows we're from, we met her at Horror Hound, so she remembered us from being from Ohio. She's like, "Are you guys coming to Cleveland?" Maybe, but I don't know. Cleveland's kind of a long drive, and unfortunately, and I'm pretty sure in Texas too, a drive through Ohio is kind of boring, unless you're like around some of the major cities. One of the cool places though on the way is the Reformatory, which is always fun to visit. But they're all cool. I love Terrifier. Terrifier is great. So I'm interested to watch a video of the haunt. You got any thoughts on that, Jen?
He is very popular, and I have yet to make an actual opinion about him other than it was interesting seeing his videos going to haunts.
Yeah, he's like I said, the guy who plays him is awesome. Damian Leone is awesome. They're fun to talk to. Samantha Scafidi, if you ever get a chance to meet her at a convention, she will talk your ear off. She is a talker. She wants to get to know everybody, and she loves all her fans and that. Um, Incredibly nice. Like I don't think any of them were actually like oh, I'm bigger than this or anything like that. Like everybody was super nice. Um, Even the producer of the movie, he was there. I can't remember. See, I'm drawing a blank. But Phil Falcone.
Words are hard.
Phil Falcone. Um, well, he's one of the producers. He's produced hundreds of movies. Like one of the top horror producers out there. Um, Loves the ferrets. We got to make sure we stop by at least 5 or 6 times so he can pet the ferrets. We have one of our ferrets is called Nippy because when we bought him, he bit me right here, and we still took him
Ow.
home. Yeah, it hurt. But he was the calmest of all the ferrets in there. He's our baby too. He's still a baby. He's not, but about let's see, about 10 months old now. He will be 1 in September. His name is his name is Nippy, but Phil will always call him Snappy. The other ferret we have Slinky. Slinky's the older girl. She's 4. Um, she's my alarm clock. If my alarm is going off and I don't wake up, she will jump on the bed and she will bite the hell out of my feet.
Ow.
But I have the list of the 10 haunted houses that Universal Studios have announced. At least I am on the Universal Orlando website. But most of the time, if it's in Orlando, it's also in Hollywood. I think it's very rare that it's different. So, as of today, Terrifier, they have announced the Jason universe, which that's what they're going to call the Friday the 13th series now is the Jason universe. They've already got toys planned. They've already got movies planned. They got the prequel. They're supposed to be showing teasers of the prequel at San Diego Comic-Con this month. The prequel is going to be called Crystal Lake, and I think it's going to be set. I don't know if it's going to be set as Jason as a kid, or really how they're going to do it. But I know that it's there's been a lot of hardships with it. Like they already had to get rid of the showrunner once, and they're so it's already a new showrunner, it's already a new writer, all this like whole new cast, all that stuff. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do. But the Jason universe, so you're going to have a Friday the 13th house. You're going to have a Fallout house, which I have not watched that show yet.
Dude, the whole entire Fallout universe makes me happy.
I never got into the games. See, I was always in my defense, when Fallout was coming out, I was addicted to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The original one. I was addicted to it. Like I would come home and I would go to work. This is when I managed Blockbuster too. So I'd go to work for 9 hours, come home and then play Call of Duty till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I have went through all the games and I haven't finished the series yet, but it's pretty good so far.
My kid loves them. My kid plays them. He went all the way back on his PlayStation. Was it PlayStation Plus? You can go back and play older games and that. So he's been going through, downloading them, playing them, getting rid of them, download the next one. Like he enjoys them. But the Fallout TV series, they're getting their own house. The next one is Hatchets and Chains, Demon Bounty Hunters. So we have our first original property. for the year, which can I download that? Let's see if it'll work. I might be able to put this in here. I love the poster that they made for it. Let me see if I can add this in. Let's put in the overlay. Bear with me, guys. This they changed a lot since. Won't let me allow it in here. Enter in here. So we'll do this. How about? All right, where did share screen go?
It's in the middle,
Is it this one?
right beside
Share
the
screen.
plus.
I see it. Yeah, sorry guys. They did a couple of updates since I've been gone. I'm still getting used to this. So we will. That one. Allow, and we'll go to this. Hatchets and Chains, Demon Bounty Hunter. That's the this one right here. That's I love that poster.
That is cool.
Yes, that is a very cool poster. We'll keep it up. How about we keep it up for now? We got Dolls. Let's Play Dead. Welcome to her toy box of terror. So this will be interesting because you're about to become doll-sized and witness the unnatural creations of a twisted little girl. You'll be hunted by burnt fashion dolls, toys she's melded together, and undead horrors in our dollhouse. You know what? I think I've seen that movie. Here, let's go ahead and boop.
Inception.
I was thinking more Toy Story.
No, I mean the screen was Inception for a second. Toy Story, yes.
Yeah, that's clearly Sid's room in Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
The next one, Grave of Flesh, Your Dead Meat. Welcome to your funeral where things are about to go from bad to worse. You'll enter your grave and then the underworld where flesh eaters who feed on the dead will hunt you for all eternity. We have Gulkin, Monsters of the North. Which almost seems, this reads almost like The Witcher. In a remote northern village, a wicked being rises from the dead, bringing a horde of monsters and demons from the fjords to wreak havoc on the townspeople. Try to escape the belly of the beast. See, I think The Witcher would have worked better. Have somebody just going around hunting monsters.
That would be fun.
Our next one they've announced is El Artista, a Spanish haunting. Maestros del Arte y del Terror. I know my Spanish is bad. Funny story. I took Spanish in high school, failed it, but I know a little bit of it. I used to work as a bat boy for a baseball team back in the 90s, and I learned to cuss. Because when you're sitting on the field and you're watching these guys argue with the umpire or yell at the umpire, and that you kind of get a feeling you know what they're saying.
Oh yeah.
But that's all the haunts they've announced so far. Just it's always a great time. It looks like I have never gotten to go to Halloween Horror Nights, mainly because of finances. Let's put it that way. The finances and I'm not a big crowd person, and I know the crowd's there. I don't want to wait 3 hours to get into a haunted house, especially when there's 10 haunted houses. Like, I don't even know how you do it in one night.
But you do so well at working at one.
Yes, because I'm already in it. And the funny thing is, too, is I'm the first person to jump on anybody who's complaining about waiting in a haunt, because spoiler alert, guys, if you go to a haunted house in October, you're going to wait. There's going to be a wait.
Oh, I know that we're doing this news, and I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Texas Maze of Terror and Biter said after 4 years, they're finally going to come back, and we're going to have a haunted house this year. And I'm just
Nice.
excited, guys. I am so excited.
What city?
It's in Vidor, Texas, guys.
Here, let's bring it up. What's the name of the haunt again?
Texas Maze of Terror.
Let's see. So I got a Facebook page. Vidor, Texas.
Yeah, I think that's the only page they have.
Yeah, but people like to copy stuff. Like I think there's 3 or 4 fake Hell's Dungeon pages. I see a lot of reels. How about that?
I'm hoping it's real because I really want to do this now that I am officially 3 hours closer and I can get there within 50 minutes.
I mean, if you heard it from somebody reliable, it's probably real. Their website does not come up when I click on it. I will say that, but that doesn't mean anything. We've had, I think, 2 or 3 different websites the past couple of years. So I think you're good. I think you're good. So that is something to be excited about, though. It's always great when you have a haunt open close to you.
Oh yeah.
You should go try to work there.
Dude, with it being an hour away and us not having multiple vehicles, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about here is we have 1, 2, 3 local haunts in Dayton itself. Well, in the Dayton area, because technically, the Dayton Screen Park is not in Dayton; it is actually in Huber. Actually, where they are might be considered Dayton. I really don't know. It's the city lines here are weird because even people who live in Huber Heights or Centerville or any of these other cities will always put down that they live in Dayton. It's like that thing. Like if you go to Illinois, if you're within, I think what do they say? If you're within 70 miles of Chicago, you tell people you're from Chicago.
It's easier that way.
Sometimes, yeah. So let's see. Get off of that one. So this is a story from July 9th. No Freakling Brothers haunt in Las Vegas this Halloween, the company announces. And what the hell did you just do? There it is. The Freakling Brother. Go ahead. The Freakling Brothers haunt will. Go ahead.
All I said is I don't know.
No, I clicked X to close out an article, and you know how these websites are getting now. If you click X to click out of an article, and it's freaking Yahoo on top of that. It'll like take you to their main page or something stupid because how dare you not want to look at the article. But the Freakling Brothers haunt will not be scaring up any screams this year in Las Vegas as the company announces it's taking the year off to prepare a new experience for 2026. The award-winning haunt has terrified the Las Vegas Valley for more than 31 years, but this year it will be taking a temporary pause for the 2025 Halloween season. The company will use the pause for the development and construction of an all-new, next-level haunt experience set to replace the classic haunt Class Castle Vampire. All right, so you're in Vegas. You're making I'm telling you right now, you're making a shit ton of money off this haunt already. Can't go hire somebody to build it for you real quick? Like Universal, which I think I think Universal Studios has a lot more to do with it because Universal did just open that haunt out there in Vegas, and that's definitely going to cut into their profits. Because have you seen anything about this Universal haunt they have out there now?
The one in Vegas, it looks interesting. At least the reels I found.
Yeah, it's an all-day thing. Like, you can sit there. There's 2 haunts to go through, I think. There's, like, 2 actual mazes. There's a shop, and then there's a bar. So this could be an all-damn-day thing if you really wanted it to be. So so I have a feeling that has a lot more to do with it than, hey, we're building a whole new thing. because you can get a construction crew out there. You're probably making bank. In all honesty, it's Las Vegas. If you're anywhere near the Strip, I've said the same thing going down to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. I don't care what business you have. If you're on the Strip, the main road, if you fail, that's on you because the money's
Oh
there.
yeah.
So if you go to Vegas and you put something on the Strip and you can't get customers in, that's on you. But so they're not going to open this year. The Freakling brothers in Las Vegas, they're not going to open this year, so they can. For their reasoning is so they can build a whole new haunt. That is apparently going to take a year to do, which most places can do it in 6 months. Just saying.
I don't pretend to understand.
It's not something that should take 6 months or a year to do.
I know. I'm just saying I don't understand their reasonings of this, but they can do their thing.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said. I think it has more to do with Universal opening and taking a lot of the business.
Oh yeah.
Because they're actually Universal actually announced too, like past couple of weeks, that they're going to open one in Chicago. That they're moving this way, so there's going to be one of those experiences in Chicago as well. Which I think it'll do well, but I don't think it's going to do as well as Vegas because Chicago gets cold eventually.
Yes.
And I don't want to go to a haunted house in the cold. I barely want to leave my house when it
Not
starts
even
snowing
Pennywise
outside.
wants to do that.
Oh no, Pennywise will hop out of, and when it starts snowing up here in the Midwest, Pennywise will hop out of that sewer real quick and go, "Fuck this." So, all right, what else do we got here? I'll tell you, we can stop halfway through because once again we forgot to do something. Jen, what have you watched or read this week? I don't know if you're prepared for it or not.
Oh, I have things that I have watched. Blazing Saddles, just because Blazing Saddles is fun. Read
Greatest
greatest.
greatest comedy ever.
Hold on a second. Let me bring the book up. Haunted Hotels by Sam Baltrusis is the book I've read recently. And I didn't read that because of the movie we were doing. I read that because I just like ghosts. And then I found out about the movie yesterday.
Yeah, I think I only announced it yesterday that I was coming back. We were coming back. But well, I've actually watched a few things this week. I've had time because one of my classes is officially over. So
Yay!
I did take the kid to see Superman.
Awesome.
I don't know where this woke nonsense is coming, where people are calling it woke or whatever. Y'all are being stupid. That's simple. You're being stupid if you're calling it woke. Whatever. You know, the movie itself, awesome. It was actually pretty fun. My only complaint is, and I don't really want to. I'm not going to say it. I have a complaint, but if you go see it, you'll understand. You'll understand the complaint, I think, because I don't think. Yeah, but the movie itself, the story was fun. A lot of good action. I did like that he didn't go through the entire backstory of Superman. Because like we haven't seen it a million times in all the TV shows and all the movies and everything like that. Like the movie begins with what you see in the preview with him laying in the snow. You know, that's how the movie begins. That whole scene, and
Okay.
it just tells you, you know, so many years ago, Superman, like Kal El lands on Earth. This many years ago, this happens. This many years ago, that happened, and that's basically the whole backstory you get. Which, again, if you're going to see a Superman movie, you know the backstory of Superman.
Yes.
The other thing I
Yes, we
watched
do.
We started watching. Shudder has a new TV series, a new series called Hell Motel. We watched the other night. Me and the wife watched the first 3 episodes, which is good for me because I'm not a binger. I am not somebody who can go and watch an entire series in one sitting. But the show was actually pretty good. It's pretty fun. It's got a good story behind it. Um, Basically, back, I think it was 30 years earlier. Uh, a newlywed couple got murdered at this hotel. This lesbian couple buys the hotel and invites all these true crime people. Like there's an actress that played. They did a movie about the killing, and the actress they invited played the lady who got murdered and sacrificed. There's like a podcaster, a psychic. There's a bunch of people who came um, to the hotel because they want to see the hotel. The true crime experience. They kept the room the same way and all that stuff. And while they're there, somebody is starting to kill again. So it's like, is it a copycat? Is it the same people, the same murderer? What's going on? And there's some pretty good gore in it. The story's fun and interesting. So yeah, we watched that. It's called Hell Motel. I think AMC has it. I don't know if they're showing it on their network, but I know they have it because Shudder is owned by AMC, and so I know it's on their app or their what is it their streaming service. But we have Shudder, so we did that. We did the 7-day trial of it again because Shudder's one of them apps where you can download it, watch a few movies, and then just cancel it for a little bit till they re-update their stuff.
Okay. AMC, Sling, YouTube, Amazon, and Philo. I'm not sure how that one's pronounced. Those are all the places you can find the series.
But you got to pay for it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They're still airing episodes. Like they're releasing an episode like every week, I think, on Shudder. But if you get a chance to go see it, I mean, get Shudder. It's only like $8 for Shudder. So I mean, you get Shudder, you get a bunch of good movies. Go, if anything, I always get it for Joe Bob and The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. I always get it for that because who doesn't like Joe Bob? Come on. But let's see. So that's the problem. I see the problem. What I did. All right. So we got Terrifier coming. Universal Studios Singapore has announced that for their Halloween Horror Nights that they are going to feature Stranger Things at this year's event. For those who don't know, the last season is coming on. I believe it's airing this year. The final season of Stranger Things, which is a show we watched the first season. I've never gotten around to watching the rest. I think it came.
I know multiple.
I think it did the same thing that Walking Dead did to me. I watched the first 3 seasons of Walking Dead. I don't even think I finished the 3rd season. I got to where they were in the prison. I think they just left the prison. Like they just killed what's his name? God, the guy who plays the Punisher. Hold on. So this is the first season. I know it's the 3rd season rather. But it's the one where Rick killed the guy that was sleeping with his wife while he was in a coma.
Okay. I have not watched The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Yeah, it's not. It's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler. Trust me.
Oh.
That's they pretty much announced that the second those two come on the screen. Directors. I don't want directors. There we go. I know this is very interesting. John Brother, Shane. Yeah, I stopped right after that. Because it was everywhere. Like you went to a convention, everything was Walking Dead. You had the celebrities coming to the convention. It's like this guy was this zombie in episode 4 of season 6 of Walking Dead. It's like, who fucking cares? Like, it was a zombie. He was on screen for probably like 30 seconds. Like, I know it's a big deal, but
Yeah.
so let's see what else we got here. Immersive Attractions Group LLC is bringing an all-new immersive event to San Joaquin Valley in California, Fresno Fright Nights. Spanning 6 acres, the event will run October 3rd through November 1st with 4 haunts designed by Alan Hops, the owner of Stiltby Studios and Dark Hour Haunts. A twisted carnival midway, 12 photo ops, food trucks, bar, and live entertainment. According to their press release, the attraction promises to deliver intense scares, immersive storytelling, and Hollywood-level special effects, aiming to become a premier Halloween destination in California. They actually got their website up. They have 4 haunts: the Blood River Bayou, Nightcrawler's Pizza, Ghoul Town Trails, and Chemikill Abandoned Chemical Plant. There is no tickets or anything like that. They have no tickets available or anything. It's just coming soon is all it says. But one thing I did...
Alan.
Go ahead.
I just want to say we had Alan Hops on Chainer's Field of Secrets, and he was awesome.
That's cool, because I mean, apparently he's a big deal.
He is.
Yeah, because I mean that's pretty big. So yeah, did he talk about Fresno Nights at all, or Fright Nights, or?
I don't know. My internet, the whole entire town's internet went down, and I haven't got back to the episode because I moved.
So there you go. On Chainer's Haunted Secrets. Go check that out, because I didn't know. I've been so busy these past couple. Like I said, I've been so busy these past couple of months. I ain't done much of anything outside of going to Days of the Dead. But here's something I do want to talk about, because I have followed this. Not only this organization, well, yeah, the organization for a while now. Haunters Against Hate. They're holding an event. Haunters Against Hate is the event 3, Season of the Witch, August 8th through 10th at the Crown Plaza in Louisville, Kentucky. It kind of seems like a convention or like a Halloween show. Haunters Against Hate is an organization that they've been around forever. Like, I think I remember seeing them in like 2007, 2008 at conventions. They're basically an organization that tries to, I guess, fight against or expose. I'm trying to think of the right words: racism, and what is it? Homophobia, I think. Yeah. And they're there to support people in that, and it's a great organization. They do have celebrities coming. If you like the show Face Off, they have essentially 6 of the former contestants from Face Off: Micah Eby, Stevie Calabrese, Caleb Lewis. I guess to say, hold on. Micah Eby from season 11, Stevie Calabrese from season 9, Caleb Lewis from season 10, Ricky Vitus from season 9, Kaylin Ashley from season 7, and Rick Prince from season 5 will all be here. Those are the celebrities they have coming. But I used to like Face Off. Face Off was a fun show to watch. Did you ever watch Face Off, Jen?
No,
You know what it is?
I have no idea.
Actually, I think it's something you would like. It is a show. Sci-Fi used to put it on. It is a reality show, like a contest, like a reality contest show for people who do special effects. Special effects makeup. They create monsters and fairy tale stuff, and things like that. And it's a contest to see who the best ones are. So, like every episode, they got to create a new monster, a new creature to fit whatever the theme is for the week. Like sometimes it'll be fairies, sometimes it'll be monsters, and they'll have like specific things they got to follow. It's almost like your Hell's Kitchen for people who do makeup.
That is cool.
And you get to watch them make the masks and do the makeup and everything. They have models they have to work with. Yeah, it was a very fun show. They don't do it anymore, but it was fun. But the part that I would go for is the vendors and shows. So, of course, the shows, they're going to have the Haunters Against Hate 2025 awards, the Hunters Against Hate drag shows, 2 fabulous drag shows on Friday and Saturday, the makeup competition, where you create your own version of a witch in a limited amount of time, the cosplay competition, which is essentially a costume contest, face-off panel, and as an excursion, they're going to go to Malice Manor in Clarksville, Indiana, which it's right across the bridge. It's right across the bridge from Louisville. It's not that far of a drive, thankfully. A lot of the rejects from Hell's Dungeon just went to Malice Manor a few weeks ago, actually. But they have a bunch of vendors, starting with Alchemy Massage, Our Sister Haunt in Kentucky, American Horrorplex, The Big Scary Show, Brett Gray Art, Butterfly Valley Rescue and Sanctuary, The Devil's Attic, DK Wood Designs, Dreaded Damsels, Drowsy Sloth, I've never heard of them, Froggy's Fog, best fog juice in out there. They make the best fog juice. Goodlit Makeup, Halloween Life, Haunters Against Hate merch, Haunting You podcast, Heartless Romantic, Indivisible, James Abyss Art, Jason Shepard Artwork, JDT Portraits, Lockport, Escape Room and Axe Throwing, Love, Leather and Lace, Lucy Fur, I think Lucy Fur, I think they do makeup, if I remember it. They do makeup or they do contacts. And just so many more. Like, that just seems like a great time. So if you're anywhere near Louisville, Kentucky, that's going to be a fun time. August 10th or 8th through the 10th. Let's see. Hotel sponsors. All right, that's all the information for that. But that just sounds like a good time.
And as for those local to Ohio Haunters Association has their website up. They're trying to set up their directory as well. So you can go on the website and search for a haunt near you or a specific haunt that you know the name of. You just go to Ohio Haunters, where did I put it? Ohio's Haunters, .com, I think. Hold on. There it is. And then it's scrolling on the bottom and there is all the information you need to find out about the amazing people there in Ohio that have so many new updates to the haunts this year.
129 registered haunts as of last year. We are
That is
still
epic.
number one, but I think California is catching up.
Well, they're big. So,
Yeah. They got a lot more room.
oh yeah. Oh, and the convention next year, the Ohio Hunters are throwing a convention, and all of the hunters are welcome to go hang out and tell about your haunt and whatever festivities they have. They are still figuring out what they're doing this coming uh convention, and it's going to be epic.
And it is going to be held at the Mansfield Reformatory, where they shot The Shining. They shot scenes for Air Force One with Harrison Ford, and it is one of the most haunted locations in the country. We've had we've had a lot of it. I've been there once, and we had experiences. It is very creepy in there. The showers are still cold. Like, I don't care if it's 100 degrees outside, those showers are freezing. And they're not in the basement. That's what I thought was the weird thing, is they're not in the basement, but those showers are still cold. And you can also, I think Blood Prison is going to be running that weekend as well.
Yeah.
That's one of my bucket list haunts I need to go check out, because I want to meet the warden's widow.
Dude, yes.
The warden's widow, I follow her on TikTok. This girl is 6'7", and when she puts the wig on, she's over 7 feet tall.
And if you are very lucky, and while she's around town, you may have seen her in any of her number of costumes in the store or getting coffee, because she will dress up just to do daily things, and it's epic.
Look, as a haunt actor, one of the funniest things you can do is go to a restaurant, go to a fast food joint or something after the haunt closes, and just watch the reaction when you pull up to the window and you're still in makeup or still in costume. It is never not funny. So how long have we been going? We've been going. We're gonna go ahead and cut off the haunt industry news there. We'll go ahead and move to a couple of horror movie news stories, and then we'll take our break, and then we'll get into Hell on a Shelf, our Christmas in July celebration with a movie that's not really a Christmas movie. But our first news story is Peacock's Friday the 13th prequel series Crystal Lake has found its Jason Voorhees, and he's a Chucky actor. He's an actor from the Chucky TV show. Callum Vincent has joined the series as young Jason Voorhees, so it will follow Jason as a child. And I think I remember that now that I'm looking at it, because Linda Cardellini, her most famous roles were from she's from Grandma's Boy, but she's most popular for playing Velma in the Scooby-Doo movies. Playing Pam. Yeah, she will be playing Pamela Voorhees. She will be joined by William Catlett, Cameron Scroggins, Devin Kessler, and Gwendolyn Sundstrom. Scoggins will play Dorf, the police officer portrayed by Ron Milkey in the original classic. Nick Corleone from Warrior will play Crazy Ralph. Joyce Soprano as Rita. Danielle Koch as Claudette, and Phoenix Paverick as Barry. Fans of the original will recognize these names. The character Barry Jackson appeared in the original Friday the 13th film as camp counselor and famously Pamela's first victim. His girlfriend, Claudette Hayes, Deborah S. Hayes, also a camp counselor, was Pamela's second victim. I'm looking forward to this. I am a huge Jason fan. Like, I have Jason seat covers in my car. I've got a Jason thing hanging from my mirror. I've got a Jason wallet. I've got a Jason mask on my keychain. I'm a big Jason fan. When it comes to the slashers, I like Jason. I'm sorry.
I can honestly tell you that my mother-in-law loves Jason so much she named one of her kids after him.
I went to school with a kid like that, and he was a dickhead. I'm not gonna say it's the same as your mom, but
well, no, my mother-in-law is awesome. My brother-in-law's head was up his butt, and things happened that we're not going into.
Well, the guy I knew was a bully. The guy I knew named Jason, who said he was named after Jason Voorhees, was a giant ass bully. He was a piece of shit. But I know, as I'm wearing a Freddy Krueger shirt, yes, I say I'm a big Jason. I always loved. Now, in my defense too, this is part 3 that I'm wearing, and part 3 is the only movie. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 is the only movie of my childhood that ever gave me a nightmare. The only one. And I've been watching horror movies since I was like 5. And the only one, and it was one scene. Wasn't even the whole movie. It was one scene. It is the scene where he kills the marionette doll. He's playing the guy like the marionette, you know. Above that, just I don't know what it was about that. I was 7. It's like 6, 7 years old, and that scared the living shit out of me. I couldn't tell you why.
The only movie that has given me nightmares as an adult would probably be Cabin in the Woods. And I dreamt that it came up and under my house, and we were on our way back, and we get close enough to see it coming through. And I remember saying in the car that my kid and my mother-in-law was still at the house, and I had my youngest girl beside me in the car, and I'm like, what the heck?
It's weird sometimes what like the only like the what actually scares people. Because I remember from Superman 3 when the computer stuff goes into the woman and she just turns into this giant robot, used to like freak me out as a kid too. But how about we talk about a couple of weird stories, and then we'll take our break.
I'm always open to weird things.
This one I haven't read it, but the headline's pretty weird. Bizarre Yeti blood oath sparks controversy at Colorado seminary. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Jen.
Oh, I'm still here. I just sighed because I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I have not read this though. A Colorado priest found himself in hot water with his superiors after he hoodwinked his seminary students into thinking they were participating in a blood oath involving a man in a Yeti costume. The bizarre incident, which came to light this week, reportedly occurred in January of 2024 during a ski trip organized by St. John Vianney Theological Seminary of Denver. The getaway took a strange turn for the 15 students when Vice Rector Father John Neppel, who led the excursion, woke them up in the middle of the night and gathered them together for what he claims was a sacred tradition. Ordered to sit in silence, awaiting their turn to participate, each student was subsequently taken individually to a trailer on the property where the mysterious ritual was to unfold. During the private ceremony, prospective priests were presented with a dagger and told by Neppel that the only way you can enter into this family is if you've got to make a blood oath. Adding a surreal element to the scene was the presence of a man in a Yeti costume, presumably there to oversee the sacred tradition. Not one fucking red flag. Not one red flag came up. After convincing the student that they had the mettle to take part in the ceremony, Nepal would stop them just moments before they committed to the blood oath by offering them another option. Fuck this guy. The proverbial plan B involved dousing the seminarian's hand with what the priest claimed was grizzly bear blood, and telling them to unleash the most guttural scream you can possibly make, before being sent to rejoin their fellow students with tape over their mouth so that they remain silent about the ritual the others would soon experience. While Nepal saw the ceremony as a humorous bonding experience for the men, it soon turned into a scandal at the seminary, in part due to Nepal's unwise decision to film the Yeti-accompanied ceremony. As one might imagine, the video quickly became a must-see among students and staff who spread the footage far and wide within the confines of the community. I need to find this video. The scuttlebutt surrounding the ceremony eventually reached the Archdiocese of Denver, which launched an investigation into the ski trip's side quest and concluded that it was a misguided farce, wherein at no time was there risk of bodily harm. That said, at one point during the process, church officials actually enlisted an exorcist to cleanse the seminarians who participated in the ritual. Explaining that decision, the Archdiocese indicated that the consultation was done out of an abundance of caution due to the potential spiritual harm from such oaths. AKA, these guys who want to become priests might not believe in God anymore. For his part, Nepal offered a profound apology for the prank he described as a well-intended moment to try to be funny, but that never should have happened. Okay, I got a picture.
Good, because I'm like, what?
Hold on. I got pictures. It's I want the video. I want the video. But do I gotta Nah, I won't share it. Alright guys, you're gonna get to see my screen again. I kinda gotta show these because this is hilarious. That's the Yeti costume.
We can't see it.
What? Oh, hold on. That's why. Okay. How about now?
Yep. Now I can see the Yeti.
That's the Yeti. Hold on. And that is the Yeti, and the guy on the right is Father John Nepal. And then apparently this is the blood, the dagger, the blood, and a dollar bill on a piece of paper. I don't think there's any more pictures. I think that was it. That is it for the pictures. So, thoughts, Jen?
Humans are interesting.
That is just... Yeah, all I'm seeing is videos of people talking about it, not the actual video.
That might take a little bit of digging.
Yeah, keep a look. Yeah, keep a look out on the website. or on the Facebook group. Come on, somebody in the comments has to have found the video. Nope. If I can find the video, I will gladly post it.
Yes, please.
Oof. So this is a. Is that? No, that's not what that is. Never mind. They almost just got me. So I found a picture. I thought it was a couple of people. I had to take a second look. I thought it was a couple of people who had done the ritual with the blood on their hands and everything. It was from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But all right, guys, it has been over an hour. We are halfway through the show. So I believe it is time to take our paid break. We are going to show, if I can find them, we're going to show. There it is. We're going to show a couple of ads real quick. Then we will be back and we will start talking about Hell on the Shelf. Stick around.
Fun.
Stick around for our Christmas in July episode with a not Christmas movie.
Roll the beautiful Faye footage.
Yeah.
Greetings and shabebans. We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite seems trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh. And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
You're muted?
How about now?
I hear you now. Yay.
All right, I think something hit my may have hit my microphone as I was the mute button on the microphone as I was going to the restroom. But welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Sewer Dweller, joined as always by Friday.
Hi.
I'm not lying. I'm not going to lie. I am still looking for this video. I will find it.
Yes.
Because that's the funniest damn thing I've heard in a while. I will find it. It's always just people talking about it. Guys, if you're gonna talk about it, show the damn video.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear your opinions on it. We just want to see the damn video. Come on, do the Lord's work. Find the video. But we're back, and it is Christmas in July. I don't even know what the origins of Christmas in July is. I think it was like a big sale thing back in the day.
Yes.
And let's see if we can find some origins. It originated at Keystone Camp in Brevard, North Carolina in 1933 as a way for the summer camp to bring the festive spirit of the December holiday to their campers. The camp, an all-girls establishment, organized a Christmas-themed celebration with carols, a decorated tree, and a visit from Santa Claus. The concept gained wider recognition through the 1940 film Christmas in July and eventually became a popular marketing tool for retailers. I knew about the retail. I didn't know about the rest of that.
Me either.
Plus, I do believe I do believe that Christmas in July. I have heard of the movie before. Well, guys, we are talking Hell on the Shelf today. You can just ignore the poster because that's not even the fucking elf.
No.
I went into this thinking, oh, Killer Elf on the Shelf. Do you know how big of a pain in the ass that son of a bitch has been for me the past 12 years? Spoiler alert, I've got 2 children. One who is 18 now, thankfully, and the other is 12. Neither one believe in Santa anymore. But trying to find funny things to do with the Elf on the Shelf, was a gigantic pain in the ass. Although there was the one morning where they woke up and he used my shaving cream on the bathroom sink and the mirror. So yeah, I think we had one where Beetlejuice caught him. I had a Beetlejuice figure, and then Beetlejuice caught the elf.
That is not a thing that I have joined in on.
Nah, it was fun. It was fun for the kid. The kid laughed. It made the kid laugh. That's all that ever mattered to me, was making the kid laugh. But we are, like I said, we are watching Hell on the Shelf. This movie came out. It was released in 2021. It was written by Aaron Drake. Let's see what he's done. What else he's done. Writer of such famous movies, such popular, brilliant movies as Trail Cam Sasquatch, 1 Million Babes BC. Here's one right up your alley, Jen. Once Upon a Time in Amityville.
Oh, dear God.
Amityville in Space, which I think you guys
seen
watched.
That one.
Well,
he
here
was
you go.
The priest.
You can blame this son of a bitch. Yule Log, Jurassic Shark 3, House Squatch, Jurassic Shark 2, Aquapocalypse, and Virus Shark. And it was also written by Eric Wilkinson. And this is all he's ever done. He has done nothing else. The movie is directed by the Polonia brothers, Mark and Anthony. We have done one other Polonia brothers movie on this podcast, or on this show, and it was Sharkula from last year. It stars Titus Himmelberger as Damon Satchel. He is the audio guy. Dave Fife as Lenny Barnes. He is the, I guess, the video. Wasn't he like the video expert, I think?
Yeah.
Mark Polonia himself as Max Simonetti, the lead investigator. Christopher Beacon as a burglar. Ethan Maldonado as a burglar. Adrian Fife. She doesn't even get her character listed. And finally, Natalie Himmelberger as Angie Lamberson, the realtor. That's your cast, guys. There are 7 people in this movie.
Alrighty.
So, the storyline, or I guess the synopsis of the movie reads, and I quote, an antique Christmas elf decoration holds the key to decades of pent-up evil and anger from beyond the grave. 3 paranormal investigators are hired by a desperate real estate agent to cleanse a house or find the reason as to why no tenant stays very long in this ominous structure. Over the course of 3 nights, the team discovers more about the supernatural happenings than they care to uncover. It is a holiday wrapping of horror with no escape. Fuck you, it is not a holiday movie. Like, whoever wrote that, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You see Christmas decorations, and
Yep.
that's about it. Nothing that says it's a Christmas movie.
Here's the thing. I am 100% the guy who is on the side of Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Christmas is a theme in the movie. They're at a Christmas party. There are Christmas decorations and gifts and everything. Ho, ho, ho. You know, he leaves a sign on one of the guys he kills. Ho, ho, ho. Now I've got a gun. Christmas is a theme in the movie. Gremlins, Christmas is a theme in the movie. Christmas is not a theme in this movie.
It appears as background, nothing else.
That's it. That's it. So now, without further ado, let's get into this. So, the movie starts out basically just driving down the street. Let me make sure I got my captions on. I do not. And there's a warning that pops on the screen. The warning says some viewers may find the following footage disturbing. Maybe if you're 3. What you are about to see is a true story documented over 3 days by a parapsychology crew. Now, here's the thing, too. I'm going to get this out of the way now because this bothered me most of the movie. This is a found footage movie. Circa, basically like The Blair Witch, like Grave Encounters, like so many other found footage movies shot from the first person, correct?
Yes.
Who the fuck is holding the camera? Someone's holding the camera the entire movie.
Yes.
The 3 people. There are 3 investigators. There are 3 people. And not one, very briefly, a couple of times does it come from the view, the person, the first person view of any of these guys. There is a 4th person holding a camera. And we know this because the fucking camera is moving.
Yes. And it did not phase the 5-year-old or the 11-year-old. So, yeah. But then again, they're a bit desensitized anyway.
See, it angered me. It annoyed me. There's another thing that annoys me. And I will, when it comes to it, I will get to it. And it annoys me pretty badly. So.
Dude, I can honestly agree. I sat there looking at this and I'm like, these people are idiots throughout the entire film.
So after the warning goes off, we get shown 227 Wyoming Street, the Wingate House. Jen, this house is supposed to be 40 or 50 years old.
Something, well, I think older than that, to be honest. I think she said 18 something.
Did it look like an old house?
It looked like it was made recently.
Guys, it's got plastic siding on it. It's got a brand new fence in the back.
Yep.
And it keeps doing this distortion thing, you know. It shows all the camera angles from the kitchen, the dining room, the hallway. Basically, it's kind of like CCTV, if you will. Spoiler alert: it does not come. It very rarely comes into play, the entire movie. But then it goes to this Christmas elf. It is just an elf. It is not even the elf on the shelf doll. It is just a regular Christmas elf. Like an old porcelain elf. Then we cut over to Angie Lambert. I think it was Angie Lamberson, I believe was her name. Yeah, Angie Lamberson, the realtor, who is talking. It's almost like they were doing a documentary, and it was meant to be like a documentary, like Office style, kind of, where something would happen and the guys would talk to the camera. Something would happen and the guys would go talk to the camera. You know, like they're interviewing them after what happened.
Yes.
So she's talking, and you know, she's basically like, "Look, I don't understand. You know, I've been trying to sell this house. I've sold it a few times, but then the people give it back like within a couple of weeks, or a couple of days. I think nobody wants to stay there, and she doesn't understand why they don't want to stay in the house and stuff like that. That they leave with a sense of urgency, and they just want the house gone." It goes and it shows a bunch of stuff. And she says she's trying to, put the rumors to rest. So she's hired this paranormal team called NERPA, the Northeast Regional Paranormal Association. And as she talks about them, they're driving up in a hearse. And it's just showing, old videos of them investigating stuff and that. It kind of looks like it's just footage that they shot in the same house. So she's talking and she says, a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with the homicide. And then she sees she fucked up and goes, "Oh, we can't use that." No, we can use that because if somebody is murdered in a house, you kind of legally have to tell people that somebody died in that house. So you're not doing anything wrong there. So now we cut to the surveillance cameras, and I'm not gonna lie, this scene goes on for way too fucking long. There are burglars.
Yes, it does.
Like, let's see. We're at 2:40 in the movie now. This scene lasts until about 5 minutes and 52 seconds. It's a 3-minute scene almost. Just of these two guys walking around the house with a flashlight. Like this. And they got masks on when they first go in. Like there's distortion, all that good stuff. I'm not going to describe everything they're doing because they're doing burglar shit, okay? They're doing burglar shit. You know what everybody knows what burglars do.
Yes.
But they're just walking around. He even picks up and looks in the potpourri thing like there's going to be something valuable in the potpourri. So not only is he a burglar, he is a terrible burglar because this dickhead has already took the mask off. What was the point of the mask?
In case somebody was there. I don't think
but
they noticed the cameras.
which is weird because usually there's a big red dot. So finally, the older burglar finds the door to the basement. So of course he walks down. The younger burglar is still walking around. The older guy gets to the basement, and we hear some child giggling, like a child's laughter. He's looking around, trying to see, what's there or anything. Cuts back to the younger burglar, and again, it just keeps like distorting, like the camera's shaking and everything like that. The handheld, standard cameras. We cut back to the basement again, and we get some more child laughing. The older burglar is looking around to see where it's coming from. We hear not really a scream, but a grunt and the stabbing sound. The door to the basement creaks open, so the younger burglar goes, "Oh, I should go down here." As he walks down there, what does he find, Jen?
He finds him laying there on the ground.
I guess this guy's supposed to be dead. He's laying against the wall on there's no blood or anything. He falls down, but it's the most unconvincing, like, scared fall down that I've ever seen in my life. So he keeps walking around the basement. We hear the laughing again, and guess what? He gets stabbed in the throat. Do we get to see it?
No.
No, because fuck the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
We go straight. Again, it's been 6.5 minutes into this movie. We go straight to it's a picture of the doll. There's music playing, and they're, the cast, all that, basically the credits. Cut to the inside the hearse. The team is driving up. They're not even talking to each other. They're just looking around, all that good stuff. And essentially they just start talking about their education, their past, everything. I'm not going to bore you with the details. But the video guy, Lenny, is technically a skeptic. He does not believe in any of this ghost shit, as he says. Then we meet Damon, who is the audio tech. He talks about, how he went to school because he wanted to do audio, but then he realized that he could hear ghosts or whatever while he's doing his audio. You could hear the ghost voices and they talk to you. Focuses on him for a little bit. Then it goes to Max. And he just starts talking about ghosts, the gray between and purgatory, all that good stuff. And he talks, oh, it must be exciting that people ask him, come up to him and tell him all the time that, oh, it must be so exciting that you see a ghost, you get to see ghosts and that. And he goes, no, it's actually pretty terrifying. Which, yeah, it's kind of, it kind of sucks. I'm not, I've seen ghosts and it is kind of, So they talk about heading to the Wingate house, and they're talking about the background. The house was built around 1911 or 1913. Now, I do got to say this real quick. We've had these movies on before where it's kind of obvious that they didn't write a script. That people are just making shit up as they go. This movie seems like one of those movies. Would you say that, Jen?
It seems like it because Dude, seriously.
I
don't even think they fully watched an investigation in their life.
No. But I say and different stuff a lot when I'm doing the podcast. But guess what, guys? I don't have a script. There is no script. So I get to say and that. This is a movie. It's supposed to be a script. And Max is saying and correcting himself and shit like that. There's even a point at one point in this movie where Tyler is supposed to be the ghost kid. He calls him Manny at one point. But he doesn't even call him the right name. So the house was built around 1911 or 1913. And since it's been built, it has approximately 7 owners. People don't seem to stay in the house very long. And we're going to get to that, it says. Hopefully we can figure that out. So basically, I'm not going to wait for him to go to the backstory is that 30 years ago, this mom and her kids lived in the house. The mom apparently was not a very good mom. Not a very observant mom. Basically, if you're a Gen Xer or even a millennial, or like an older millennial, you know what it was like back in the 80s. We didn't have much supervision. So essentially, that's what he's saying is basically mom didn't watch him. Like, join the fucking club. None of our moms did. None of our parents did. Let me remind you again, they had to put out a video or a commercial at 10 o'clock reminding our parents that they had children. So I guess one day the boys were in the basement and they found this elf doll. She had 2 twin boys, by the way, Manny and Tyler. They found the doll, and apparently, now in the movie he says they were in the basement when they found it. And apparently, as young boys do, because I guess they were 7, they got into a fight over the doll. Manny pushed Tyler, and Tyler fell down the stairs to the basement and broke his neck. Completely ignoring the fact that he said they were already in the basement. What are your thoughts on that one, Jen?
That dude, the whole entire idea of the not having a script for this thing and them constantly tripping over their words.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating. And you can tell by the way they described the gadgets or how they described everything. It wasn't thought out, and it's the whole entire story's just
If they don't know how to use a spirit box.
No. They don't know how to use it, and they're totally dead set that it's this one person. And you don't go into the investigation being dead set that it's the one person ever.
No. But on the backstory, what did you think of the backstory?
Completely BS.
Completely made up on the spot, it seems like. Again, it's just weird that he starts the story on this, hey, we found this in the basement, and then he moves around to that Manny shoved his brother down the stairs and he broke his neck. You were already in the fucking basement.
Unless they were in the basement playing on the stairs.
And here's the thing, you had to edit this. You didn't notice I'm going to save it to the end. I'm going to save it to the end because you have to go back and edit the damn movie. You can't fix the fuck up. Yeah, he even says I've been letting it run the whole time. It's long. Dude, this is long. I'm not gonna lie. Well, damn it, hit the wrong button. I'm not gonna lie. The first like 30 minutes of this movie just fucking drags.
Yes.
So they finally get to the house, and they show the cameras, the CCTV, the surveillance cameras that apparently the realtor herself installed. That's the other thing. That's the other problem I have with this movie is they act like the realtor owns the house. That's not how realtors work.
No.
The realtor doesn't own the house. But they start talking that they have 3 days to figure out what's going on. We're going to do everything we can to find out what spirits are in the house. So they get inside. Again, there's then the distortion. The distortion comes up, day one. They're entering the house in slow motion. And they're unpacking their gear. Now I'm going to tell you. I had ghost hunting gear. It's not cheap. That stuff is not cheap. And you're talking about stuff I bought in like 2007, 2008 that I do not own anymore, unfortunately. But I also, in 2010, when I went to Gettysburg the first time for a horror movie convention, I went on you could spend like $20 a person and go on what they called a ghost tour, where they took you on the battlefield, which is against the law after dark. But you didn't really go on the battlefield. You went to these woods that were like right between the high school and the battlefield. And then they took you into one of the house, I think it was the Patterson house or something. It's in downtown. It still has like a cannonball in it. But they take you into the house, into the basement of the house, and they let you do a paranormal investigation, if you will. They give you an EMF reader because you're in a house with electricity. That's gonna fucking help. Then they gave you a recording device. Which again, if you're by yourself, that's one thing. But you've got 30 people on this tour talking at the same time, trying to ask the ghost questions. You're not going to get real evidence.
No. It's completely polluted.
But the cheap ass shit they gave us looks about the same level as what they have in their kind of gear they have. They have one of those. They have a thermometer where you could point and shoot. They've got the cheapest, and I do mean the cheapest. These have fucking stickers on them. EMF detector I've ever seen in my life. They have their recorder, and then they have the spirit box. They've also got a bunch of GoPro cameras that the video guy's putting up around. Now, the spirit box, for those who don't follow paranormal investigations, is a device that rapidly scans through radio stations. The idea is that, excuse me, they're going so fast that it can't possibly pick up any kind of words or sound or anything like legitimate words coming from like a radio station. Like it's going that fast to it, so that if you do hear words or language or anything like that, it's supposed to be the spirit. Now, at the same time, a lot of spirit boxes that I've seen have on their on the handheld part of the device will also put the word that they think it's saying. For whatever reason, they don't have that.
Yeah, they don't have that, and they don't even get the idea that you could have randomly pick up words from around you off a radio station of a car going by, or somebody out in their yard can get caught because the walls may not be as thick as you hope. That sort of thing.
And let's not forget, this isn't in the middle. This house isn't in the middle of nowhere either. It is on. It is on in a neighborhood. It is on a street with other
Yes.
houses. So basically, we're getting the footage of him explaining what everything does, um, and everything. Um,
And people still live there.
yeah. Well, no, they did address that. Um,
Yeah, they just
Everybody
left
keeps
their
moving out.
stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, apparently the last people were in such a fuck this shit I'm out mood that they didn't take any of their stuff. All their furniture is still there. Which apparently the realtor completely thinks she can just keep.
Yeah, I'm just saying you see random shadows of people moving in the background. That's all I'm saying.
Shh. No, you're not supposed to notice that. Let's also forget, again, as a paranormal investigator, I have not done home haunts or anything like that as an investigator. But I know people who have, and you don't fucking sleep there. Just saying.
I do have heard of investigators sleeping there, but the majority of the time they're up and moving and doing investigations, and they randomly, and
Yeah.
I have heard of them sleeping there, but it was a 3-day stint of just them. So it is a thing that has been done.
See, I haven't seen that or anything, but as you going off what you said too is especially because ghosts are most active at night. Spirits are mostly active at night. 3 a.m. the witching hour.
Yeah,
Why are we
except
why, why are we sleeping?
that is the
See,
question. Except if you're in like certain places like mental asylums that had their own uh like schedules they're not always active at night. They're active on their schedules.
which I just recently learned that we have an old mental asylum here in Dayton that is now an apartment complex.
I don't want to live there.
I don't want to live there either. Like it's not on the good part of town. It's like right across the river from downtown because I've delivered food there before.
Ah,
And yeah. All right, so we're finally God, almost 20 minutes into this movie and we're finally getting started on the investigation, maybe.
yeah, it takes about 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
25ish.
And it's literally just them talking to the cameras and bullshitting and just like, come the hell on. I know we're dragging this out.
And he gets caught up on chairs.
Yes. Well, we finally started, and they're starting in the living room with the nice flat screen TV behind them. And what's the one thing that flat screen TVs do very well?
They
When they're off.
show reflections.
They show reflections. And the other 3 or 4 people that are in the background that we're not supposed to know about.
Yep. And I still bet that house is actually owned by the guy with the hat.
Oh, probably. It's owned by one of them. It's, yeah. Which is fine, you know. If you're. When I get to the budget, you're going to understand a lot more, too. There is a budget for the movie, and a lot of people do that, though. They will use their own house for independent movies and that, which is fine, you know. But make sure people can't see the other people on the set in the TV screen. So they start doing it, and he's starting to talk. He decides all of a sudden to just, hey, I don't like the Liberty Room anymore. Let's back into the kitchen. And he's asking the questions. He's doing basically, if you've seen a paranormal show, you know what he's doing. He's asking the questions and hoping he's getting a response. There's no response. I seen there was a couple of responses, but they completely fucking ignore it. So obviously the responses were added in like post, which is fine.
Yes.
Again, fine. That's what a lot of movies do. That's fine, but maybe make sure you know when you're supposed to respond. Or again,
Yes.
as you're editing the movie, don't include them in until it's time. So Max says he's looking for Tyler, the little boy that fell down the stairs and was killed 45 years ago. Are you him? Can you talk to us? The boy, basically the ghost voice comes back and says, say what? The audio guy's like, oh my God, what was that? Max asks, if that's Tyler. Asking if Tyler can talk to us. If he's still in the house. So he's backing again. He's backing down to the door, near the front door. He's telling Tyler, you don't have to stay here. You can move on. We're here to help you. And all we're hearing is static. He asks if he can make a noise or a sound. And then there's a bump upstairs, which sounds eerily familiar to somebody stomping on the ground on cue. But they decide to go upstairs now. And the whole time he's not going, hey, whoever you are, because the ghost hasn't introduced themselves or anything to tell him his name. It's Tyler, we're coming upstairs. Tyler, we're doing this. Tyler, we're doing this. Tyler, can you hear me? Tyler, you're not supposed to know who the fuck Yeah. So they go upstairs and he's asking which room is his. And yeah, they start talking about the elf. They're asking about the elf doll, if that's the elf downstairs. And the ghost voice finally says Tyler. So it kind of makes it seem, that the ghost is that was when they were supposed to introduce Tyler. But he keeps saying Tyler. He asks if Tyler is the little boy that was accidentally killed by his twin brother when they were playing, which, again, that goes against the story already. He asks if the elf downstairs is the toy that they were fighting over. The ghost boy says yes. They're getting excited. The investigators are getting excited. We get more distortion. Max asks which room is yours. So they go into the bedroom. We're getting more muffled voices. So they decide to go down to the basement. As they're going by in the upstairs room, Jen, did you notice what was on the floor?
No. I have
What
3
about
distractions.
That's fine. What if I told you there's a black Labrador retriever on the floor?
That does not surprise me.
There's a fucking dog in the house that is supposed to be abandoned.
Yeah.
Just guys, we are 23 minutes into this movie and nothing has happened. So they finally get down to the basement, and once they get to the basement, Max says, and I quote, I believe these are the stairs he fell down. And he fell down and died. I'm sorry, are there another fucking set of basement stairs? Like, I mean, let me know if I'm being picky here.
No, you're not being picky. This everything is
The continuity is way off. So, he's filming the stairs. He's asking questions again. The ghost voice comes in muffled. He decides to set the spirit box down on the stairs, and he tells me he's setting it on the steps. Can you see the device? Can you talk into it? And then he puts the EMF detector there and says, "Hey, if you can touch those lights, it'll light up. Can you do that?" The voice comes back, "No." They completely ignore it. So they're still filming the stairs. They're filming back. It's going back and forth really. Max gets closer and says how it's actually kind of chilly. There's a cold, there's cold there. He takes out his thermometer, does the thing between there and elsewhere in the basement. It's about a 10-degree off. So they're still sitting there. He's like, and basically Max is like, I wonder if he's right here. He asks again if these are the stairs you died on. The voice says, yes, it is. He's asking again if you can touch the device and make the color light up. And just keeps commenting on how cold it is.
Because
then they find
everyone knows.
Yes.
Because everyone knows if it's cold, there's a ghost there. But that's been proven wrong.
So then he finds 2 chairs. And just automatically assumes, hey, this must be Tyler and Manny's. These must be Tyler and Manny's chairs. And he asks, hey, were these your chairs when you were little? The ghost voice says, yes. Were you going to say something, Jen?
But they had a tiny chair upstairs, too.
No, they didn't. No, you didn't notice that. Just like the Labrador Retriever, just like the 3 bottles of laundry detergent in the background, just like the extra people in the TV screen. No, you didn't notice all that. All stuff that would have kind of been fixed if you had done your proper editing. But I digress. So he asks here's the thing. Max asks which chair was yours, Tyler. And the voice comes from the box that says hand on. And he completely fucking ignores it and asks, hey, which chair is yours? Again. It's like, did you not just hear him? Is it the chair that my hand is on or the other chair? At this point, I wanted the ghost to pick up a chair and hit him with it. So Max sits in the chair and says, hey, Tyler, I'm sitting in your chair. Does this make you mad? The ghost voice comes back, yes. Lenny tells him, you better get out of it. And Max asks, why are you mad? We're here to help you. And he starts talking again how it's gotten really cold, all that good stuff. He asks if he can sit in his brother's chair. The ghost voice is muffled. And he's asking him again to make a noise. There's a bump. So he decides to shut off the spirit box for a second. And they just sit there in silence. He turns it back on. Asks him again to make a noise if you're here. There's a bump upstairs. And they start, filming the stairs and that. They ask if he's upstairs. So now Max decides to take the chair upstairs to see what kind of reaction they'll get taking the chair upstairs. Again, we're showing how nice this old 100-some-year-old house is. As we go upstairs, they now have the elf doll in the chair. And they're asking questions. They're saying, hey, we put the elf in your chair. And they're asking Tyler, why don't you tell us how you feel that the elf is in the chair? And he says, that's a pretty strong connection. The ghost responds, my chair. Excuse me. Asking again, are you there, Tyler? Basically asking a bunch of questions from Tyler. And it keeps going back to the elf doll. Again, not the elf on the shelf that is pictured, an elf doll. He's asking again why he's mad, all that good stuff. And they basically just keep asking bullshit questions. And again, nothing is really making sense.
No.
So again, they keep asking questions, something about brother. They think he said brother. They ask where he's at right now. There's no response. They ask if he's by the chair. Why do you stay here? Why don't you move on? Tyler responds, Manny. Manny was his brother. They're getting... Max asks, are you angry with Manny? It was an accident that you died. And then the audio guy asks, was it an accident or was it on purpose? The ghost voice responds, don't know. So they keep, again, we're getting more distortion in the camera. They're still just staring at the clown. And this dude asks the ghost if you were hurt. Like, were you hurt? No, he's just fucking dead. I mean, he broke his neck, getting thrown down the stairs. Might have hurt a little bit.
Tiny
so again,
bit.
we're just filming each other now. As nothing's really happening. They're asking again, are you still here? They're both, they got the spirit box going, the audio going. Tyler says yes. He asks Tyler to say what's wrong. They get a muffled response. But apparently, here's the thing: it gets a muffled response that you can't hear. But Max goes, "Hey, it sounded like you said revenge." No, he didn't. Audio guy Damon asks, was that why you can't move on? And they, put the camera back on the elf. Again, we get another Tyler muffled. He said, "Gone, don't leave." Max tells him, "We're going to be here for a while. We only want to help." And again, they're still staring at the elf doll. And I guess they decided to just end it for the day because they said they got a lot of good stuff that he should play back and analyze. Max looks at Damon, the audio guy, and says, "Hey, you should play back and analyze that audio." Yeah, that's his fucking job. So, I guess he does it right in front of him and finds out that there's a kid's voice on it. And it basically says he's mad, that he doesn't want to leave and Damon thinks that Manny pushed him on purpose. They start basically discussing whether it was an accident or whether it was on purpose. Max decides they're going to reconvene later that night. We get a little bit of the surveillance footage, and it cuts to Damon in one of the rooms going through the audio. Really, it was just... And then apparently he hears a bang. Or some music. I think it was music. Max is sleeping in a bedroom. Again, what did we say about nighttime investigating, Jen?
Is usually the best time to have the investigation, according to most investigators. Others say during the day is best. But most of the investigators I know, when they have a place unfettered attention, just them,
Mm-hmm.
they sleep as little as possible.
Sleep during the day. I've never spent the night
Yeah.
in anywhere, but my plan would be to sleep during the day, stay up all night, because every piece of evidence
Yeah.
I've ever gotten has been at night. So Max is sleeping in a bedroom, and as he's sleeping, his blanket starts getting pulled down. He wakes up, looks around, and is like, "Huh? Well, guess I'll go back to sleep." We then cut over to Lenny, who's in his room with the camera, and he just gets up and starts walking around, and we get the whole green light, night vision thing. Lenny walks downstairs and finds the elf in the chair. He freaks out. He didn't really freak out, which he probably should have, because he was like, "Whoa, we put this elf on the shelf over there." Copyright. But now he's on the stool, and now he's in the chair. And it's just sitting in the chair. He grabs the elf, picks it up by the hat, holds it up, and puts it back on the shelf. Cut to the next morning. The three of them are basically, Lenny is telling everybody, "Hey, this thing was up there on that shelf, and then all of a sudden it was in the chair when I came downstairs." They're asking, "How did it get there?" "I don't know." And they talk about how much energy it takes for a spirit to move an object. They keep going on about it for a few minutes. Lenny wants, is it Lemmy or Lenny? Lenny wants to put a GoPro on the elf, and Max does not want to do that. Damon thinks it's a good idea, but Max still is like, "I don't think so." They decide to stop arguing about it, and start, doing more investigation, if you will. Then we get to a whole thing where Max is talking about why he doesn't use Ouija boards. I don't remember anybody asking him to use a Ouija board. But he goes into this thing, Oh, and then we get a video too of Lenny going, "Yeah, I might believe in ghosts now." But Max's whole thing about not using a Ouija board is that somebody has to have their hand on the planchette at all times in order to move it to put it to the words. So that's the only reason he doesn't use a Ouija board. That's the biggest reason. Thoughts on that one, Jen?
There supposedly has been instances where it has moved all by itself with nobody touching it but then again, I don't like them. I don't trust them, especially with small kids that don't listen.
Yeah. So he talks about how he uses excuse me, the spirit box and the audio recording and stuff like that, because he says there's no way to manipulate a spirit box, and you're full of shit. You are completely full of shit. They've been manipulated before. Regular audio. If you don't constantly go, "Hey," if you're recording and you don't go, "Hey," so and so kicked something, so and so shuffled their feet, you're going to think that stuff is evidence, and it's not.
Or that was Sarah who whispered just now to Kevin or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But, and then he talks about, how it's a board game and stuff like that. So we get that waste of time. Damon starts talking about, hey, ghosts are known to catfish people. You think you're talking to a 12-year-old girl, but in reality, you're talking to a 60-year-old man. And that is true. It's happened before. But, we finally get to the point where we're going to do some more investigating. Well, maybe not. Trying to fast forward a little bit because this is just dragging. They put the elf back in the chair and they decide to start investigating again, or not really investigating but asking questions again. Now I think it's about at this point or before this point they make a note to say that whoever touches the elf is supposedly possessed by the spirit. They all touch the elf.
And none of them act like they're possessed by anything.
The level of stupidity of that statement. That if you touch, that it's fucking Annabelle. That if you touch it, you will be possessed by the spirit of what's in the elf. And then every motherfucker in the room is touching the elf. And nothing happens. Why even include it?
No continuity and making shit up as they go.
So we're talking to Tyler again in the dining room, with the clown on the chair. Max asks, if he's here, if you're here, all that good stuff. He says they're here to help you. They want him to cross over. You made contact with us, but we need to go a little deeper. They, I guess there's voices coming through, but they're asking what he's, trying to say. They ask Tyler again, do you want us to leave this house? Tyler says no. Max asks why. Tyler says Manny. And then everybody's looking going, Manny, what, why? Max says Manny's not here. We don't know where Manny is. It's up to you to cross over. You can wait for him on the other side. Why would you do that? Tyler says no. Max asks why not. Max picks the doll up and asks, is your spirit in this elf toy? He has Damon feel it because it's cold. Apparently it's cold. And they're sitting, they're saying how cold it was, like the basement. The whole spot's cold. Manny, are you in, Max asks again, if Manny, are you in the elf? They take, they do the temperature check from the elf into the surroundings. And there's about a 20-degree difference. Max is smiling because he's, getting excited. They ask Tyler if he's sitting there. He says yes. Max asks him, how can we help you? What do you want to tell us? And Tyler responds, just die. And they're like, wait a minute, did it just say die? Why do you want us to die? We're just here to help you. Damon, tells him he doesn't want to hurt. We don't want to hurt you. If I touch you, Max says, if I touch you, nothing happens. You're just a child. You can't hurt us and we can't hurt you. Tyler responds, hurt you. Max asks, why do you want to hurt us? And apparently it's not cold on the doll anymore. Everybody walks, it appears that Tyler has walked away. Because they're not even getting responses anymore. Then they hear a bump from the basement. They head down to the basement. And Max again asks, why did you bring us down here? You know what? I missed it. Though. Right there, when they were talking to the doll in the chair, at one point he calls Tyler Manny. That kind of is what gave it away that they did not have a script for this movie. Did you notice that, Jen, or am I the only? Go ahead.
No, he calls him Manny. They keep on tripping on what they're saying, and they tell him he's just a kid and they can't hurt him, and they call themselves parapsychologists.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, my grandparents have went into a haunted house and came out with cigarette burns. Let's try that again.
People go into haunts all the time, and or haunted locations all the time, and come out with scratches. Can't hurt. Fuck you, dude. Fuck this guy. They think they're chasing him. They think Tyler's leading them on a wild goose chase. Then all of a sudden, this was funny actually, because Tyler starts throwing the ghost starts throwing shit at him. They act like it's heavy, like metal stuff getting thrown at them. Guys, it's Tupperware.
And cardboard boxes.
Yeah. So they go upstairs and they're like, oh my God, that was crazy. Look, the elf isn't on the chair anymore. It's on the shelf. Again, Lenny wants to put a GoPro on the elf. Max again says, no, why don't we put a GoPro over there on one of the shelves and point it at the clown, or at the elf doll. Because Max thinks something going on there. It's like, well, yeah, well, why not let him put the freaking camera on the elf?
Yeah, it's frustrating about how aggravatingly wrong they're doing all of this.
Yeah.
That and two kids say hi.
Hello.
Sorry.
That's fine. So they discuss it a little more, and then it cuts to the real estate agent again, who says that the report she's gotten from the investigating team has not been positive. It's a bit frustrating seeing that they've been there for 2 days. It takes longer than 2 fucking days. And no sightings, no events. I would call having shit thrown at you an event.
Had they told her yet?
No. I don't know. They don't really say. Yeah. She wants news in the next 24 hours. This house has been a pain in her ass, basically. And that it's the hardest thing she's ever had to sell. And she's at the point where she means, that she wants, if she doesn't sell this thing, she's going to burn it down. And she's like, oh, sorry, you can't use that. That is not professional. You just threaten to burn someone else's house down. Now, so Max is looking out the window, and there's this girl in a red flannel jacket and black pants. Who the fuck is that?
Not a damn clue.
Like, she's just standing there like she's supposed to be part of this. Spoiler alert, we don't ever see this woman again. It is literally just a woman standing in the driveway of the house across the street. I don't know if she was in any kind of like deleted scene or what, but she's just standing there staring Michael Myers style. And we don't ever see her again. And apparently Max is having this, finding Jesus moment of asking, why do we do this? Why do we keep going and doing this paranormal shit? Lack of progress, all this stuff. And the whole time he's staring at this random woman standing on the sidewalk across the street, who is obviously supposed to be something and part of this movie, but again, we never see her again. So then we cut to Damon, who is sitting on the couch with audio. Lenny comes and sits next to him, and they start going through recordings and that. And they hear a voice, and it doesn't really say what it's saying. But apparently, Tyler is singling out Max. So they go find Max to tell him what's going on. They start doing the recording, and Tyler, can you hear me? And they're getting nothing. So, basically, it says Damon's getting something on his regular device. Tyler doesn't want to speak to him on the spirit box anymore. And it says breathe gas is what it says. So that's a wrap. It goes, and we cut now to Lenny rubber banding a GoPro to the elf doll that they're not supposed to touch. So he rubber bands the GoPro to the elf doll, and they all go to sleep. Max is sleeping. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. It shows the house at night. Max is sleeping. Damon is in a room. He's passed out at his desk. And Lenny is also asleep. Basically, all three are sleeping. All of a sudden, all three start coughing. They can't breathe. All that good stuff. They realize, oh, someone turned the gas on in the house. There's a gas leak. We need to get out of here. Okay. That's smart. There's a gas leak. Everybody get out. Now, I don't know. Do you guys have natural gas down there in Texas? Jen might be dealing.
Sorry, yes, I forgot I was muted because the kids are being loud. Yes, we have natural gas.
So if you have a gas leak, what's the first thing you need to do after you get out of the house?
Try to as you get out, you call the authorities to help make sure everything's cleared, and you try to turn it off from its base if you know where that is.
You call the fire department.
Yes.
Did these guys call the fire department?
They didn't do anything. They didn't call anybody. They just go back in the house later and say, well, that was scary.
Yeah, well, my God. That was weird. We almost died. Max says, the gas leak was in the stove, and this house hasn't had a proper odor or maintenance over 3 years. That's the nicest looking house that I've seen without maintenance in 3 years. So they sit there and they decide to go through the footage that was on the GoPro. Needless to say, the GoPro shows the elf get up, hop down, go to the kitchen, open the stove and turn the gas on. These guys are like, whoa, wait a minute, that's weird. So everybody goes their separate ways. All of a sudden, Damon says, Max, Lenny, you need to get your ass up here. There's something you need to see. They run upstairs, they go into the bedroom, and on the mirror, in lipstick, it reads, tell them Max, with the L's and one of the E's backwards. Damon is pissed. He's like, the spirit in his house wrote this. Why the hell, what aren't you telling us, Max? Max is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that. So basically, Max finally brings him downstairs, sits him at the counter, and for some reason, we're doing this in the surveillance camera. Then we cut, okay, again, 3 guys in the house. Found footage movie. The camera is moving, and it's not supposed to be. It's literally, there's a 4th person holding the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how hard would it have been just to set it on the damn table? But Max starts, he goes, okay, don't get angry. Which is the sure sign is like, yeah, I'm about to kick someone's ass. And Jen, do you want to tell the audience what Max tells them?
Max tells them that he is Manny and the thing happened, but it's nobody's fault.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Max is secretly Manny, the twin brother of Tyler. Max tells him that his real name is Manny, and Lenny's just like, you're the brother? He goes, yes, Tyler was my brother. Damon's like, so this is your fucking fault. He tells him it's an accident. We got in a fight. He fell down the stairs. I didn't tell you because I knew you guys wouldn't do it. Basically, he starts going on about, he knew they wouldn't have come help him, and he can only do it with them. And they're like, do what? And Mark is like, Max is like, Manny, I guess now, he won't go to the other side. And they start talking about, how he has to help. He finally convinces them. Lenny's like, look, I just want to get paid, dude, and get the hell out of here. Then we go do the office interviews again where people are talking, where Damon and Lenny are talking about, hey, we don't fucking trust this guy now. And how angry they are that he didn't tell them that he was the brother. So we fast forward. I'm going to skip all this because, again, it's dragging on and on. Damon goes out. So we're going to the nighttime. Damon goes out and gets holy water. Because apparently Damon is a trained demonologist, and can bless a house. And he starts walking around the whole house going, Father Ghost, Son, Holy Ghost, all that. Basically doing the demonologist stuff. And he's told me he's walking with Lenny, and he's like, protect everybody except for Max. And stuff like that. That he doesn't care what happens to Max. So they go downstairs, and Max says, we have to do this tonight because we have to be out in the morning. Damon's like, well, and Max is like, if the ghost doesn't attack us. And Damon's like, well, I want to attack you right now because I'm a little pissed off. So after Damon goes through and takes care of the house, they start doing their ritual, asking him to go, to move over. They got their investigating stuff out again. Tyler is basically flat out telling him, no, Manny has to die. That's the only way I'll go over is Manny has to die. And Lenny's like, dude, he says you have to die. Max is like, I'm not going to die. I'm not doing that. Damon's like, no, he says you have to die, dude. Manny's telling Tyler to cross over. I can't go with you. I'm not ready yet. Tyler just keeps repeating, die, die, die. Meanwhile, the electricity in the house, like there's obviously somebody standing in the corner flipping the switch on and off for the light in the basement. Finally, the lights go out. Manny says, stop it right now. It seems like all this energy is being unleashed at once. There's confused voices. Damon's like, I think we need to get out of here. Max yells for Tyler to stop. There's a big loud noise. All of a sudden, in the shittiest animation you've ever seen, the elf stands up. The chair breaks. There's a loud bang. Damon's like, fuck this, I'm out. Somehow, as he's walking up the stairs, an extension cord gets wrapped around his throat and starts strangling him. Now, the two guys at the bottom of the stairs don't ever think to go help Damon as he's being strangled by a cheap $3 to $5 white extension cord. So Damon is dead. Lenny picks up the elf and starts yelling at it. The elf starts attacking him, but again, it's kind of obvious he's holding it against his neck. And it's supposed to be biting him on the neck. Max hasn't dropped the camera, but we're not even seeing it from Max's point of view, by the way. The camera goes dark and all of a sudden comes back on. Max is laying unconscious. Lenny's dead. Damon's dead. Max wakes up. Sits up, and it's his fucking spirit. He points at something. Tyler says, follow me. He gets out of, like it's a spirit leaving his body. But here's the funny thing. The body is also transparent. Again, good editing would fix this. Max walks towards the camera, disappears. Screen goes black. It shows the house, and it says and there's words that say the bodies of Max, Lenny, and Damon were discovered 2 days later by the realtor. The elf doll was never recovered during the follow-up investigation. The house is scheduled to be torn down. Fade to black, roll credits. That is Hell on the Shelf.
Yeah, that was a movie.
The tagline for this movie is Deck the Halls with Death. Fuck you, whoever came up with that.
Again, I believe that the whole entire Owlite network, including you, could have written a better movie. I swear the one I put in the menagerie was a better procedural thing of going ghost hunting.
I know people at the haunt that could put on a better story than this. But we digress. The movie was released on November 9th, 2021 in the United States. It was filmed in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. Now, Jen, there is I don't know if have you looked at the IMDb page at all?
No, I watched it
Okay.
and then I came to join you and then things happened.
What would you say the budget of this movie is?
$250?
No, I think that's all that got paid out. But the budget for Hell on the Shelf, it was $10,000. Someone's walking around with $9,000 in their pocket. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, I don't for 1 second believe they spent $10,000 on this movie. They filmed it at someone's house, and the pictures on here don't match the. I'm looking at the pictures on IMDb. They don't match the movie. They're little elf on the shelf. All right. Jen, what are your final thoughts and review for Hell on the Shelf? How many, let's do, Labrador Retrievers do you give it?
I watched this thing twice and still missed stuff
Why?
because of small people. Okay, we were playing
Why?
with blocks.
Why would you watch it a second?
Because I wanted to at least have some idea of what we were talking about. Because I kept missing parts. Because, like I said, I have 3 children here, and it's raining. So
yeah,
it's
raining
not
here
like
too.
I can send them anywhere because people are at work. But I've watched it twice. I don't recommend watching it once unless you like really bad made ghost hunt movies. And I gave it 3 because they kind of sort of tried. No, I give it 2 because they kind of I forgot. We're doing the 5 system, aren't we? I give it the 2 because they tried.
This movie lacks so much continuity. There is so much wrong with what they did. For starters, put the actual elf doll on the cover. As you can see in the top right corner of your screen, I have the cover of the movie, the poster for the movie. That is not the elf in the movie. It is not the elf on the shelf.
I really like the elf in the movie. That was really cute.
Yeah.
And it looks like something my mom would have had.
Yeah. A lot of us would. You know, it's an old porcelain. It looked like an old porcelain doll. You know, everybody's grandparents had it. My wife's her stepfather's mom had an entire room with dolls in it that people refused to sleep in. You know, they're creepy. And this thing was kind of creepy a little bit.
You know?
And it
I'm used to the dolls being everywhere and the gnomes, but then again, my mom and my mother-in-law are them.
But it's obvious it's like they decided to do a movie. They wrote all the scenes out and said, all right, figure this shit out yourselves. Like, none of the content. He calls Tyler Manny at one point. Like, there's just so much wrong. Editing could have fixed this movie and gave it a little bit of a higher star. I'm with you. I'm 2. And I even think 2's a little high. Like, this is definitely, but I don't want to go much lower because we're going to get into that level of worst movies we've seen on this show. And now, go ahead.
You're going to give us something that is close to a whole lot of medieval movies I've watched over the last year. I know it.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't watch the trailer to this or anything before I chose this movie. I just decided I wanted to do a Christmas movie, and this is one of the ones I haven't done yet. But I don't want, like I said, I don't want to go below 2 because I don't want to get into Amityville Thanksgiving. I think this was better than Amityville Thanksgiving because shit actually happened in this movie. We didn't have, some guy looking at the camera telling us how he killed people instead of, showing us the deaths, the kills.
Yeah, this is a movie that I could watch again if somebody's like, hey, let's watch a horrible movie. Yeah. This isn't like some of the others ones where Josh and I both would be like, no.
Yeah, this to me. This wouldn't even be a fun one to watch with friends drunk. Like this movie was terrible, but it's not on the level of Amityville Thanksgiving or Cocaine Cougar. Like those are the two worst movies I've seen on this and that I've watched on this show. And I do believe Cocaine Cougar actually beat out Amityville Thanksgiving as the worst one. This is not as bad as those, but it's close. Like good editing would have fixed this movie, continuity would have fixed the movie. And use a goddamn elf. Use the goddamn elf on the shelf if you're going to put the elf on the cover. Or even better yet, put the actual elf on there. Don't make people... This is like bait and switch almost. Because don't make people think they're going to watch a movie with the elf on the shelf, as in a horror movie with elf on the shelf, and then not give us elf on the shelf. That's simple.
Very.
But all right. Jen, where can they find you?
I'm going to be hiding on the Outlight Network, the Fake Horror Network, Friday with the Library in the Blue Box, Corpse Garden Chronicles, and Jennifer Elliott's my author page. And I pretend to be a whole lot of other people on the internet. So you might find me there too.
Yeah, secretly we're talking to Rasty Slasher right now as well.
I'm a good cosplayer.
Well, guys, you can always find me everywhere at the Bloody Binge Movie Show on YouTube, Twitter, X, or actually want to call it X, Facebook, TikTok. I am Sewer Dweller. I am starting to post a little more things. Getting in the haunt season, you might see some more stuff with me in costume. You can also email us at bloodybinge@gmail.com for some movie suggestions and that. And coming up, though, we have a few good selections. Let me bring up the list. I know next week is the beginning of the actual Shark Week. The annual Shark Week. So we are going to watch a shark movie. And we are going to... Where is my list? My list is not here. Let me see. We are watching Shark. Where'd it go? Sharks of the Corn. This is a movie. I know it is available on YouTube for free, but it is a censored version on YouTube. But it is on Tubi and I believe Fossum. But we are watching that for Shark Week next week. The week after that is SummerSlam. So as usual, when it's a big wrestling weekend, we watch a wrestling themed movie. So we are going to watch 2000's Ready to Rumble with David Arquette. That is a good cult classic movie. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
And from there, we are going to move into August. August 8th, we are going to watch. We are watching Ghoulies. If you like Gremlins, you'll love Ghoulies. August 15th, I am going. Go ahead.
I've watched that one recently. Yes, guys, we must watch that.
Yeah, Ghoulies is great. The week after that, August 15th, we're going to the beach one last time for the summer. We are going to watch Andy Sedaris. If you don't know who Andy Sedaris is, I suggest you go look him up. He made a lot of really cheesy action movies in the 90s that starred big, buxom-breasted women. Though usually it's the same two as the heroes. And we are going to watch one of his classics, Savage Beach. And finally, on the 22nd, we are going back to school because that is the week my kid goes back to school. So we are actually going to watch the movie we were supposed to watch back in June, which is Rock and Roll High School Forever. And then finally, on the week of the 29th for Labor Day, I will not be in town. So that week we will not be doing it. But guys, it's been fun. I really got to go to the bathroom. So we will see you guys next time here on the Bloody Binge. Jen, if you wouldn't mind hitting the end stream, thank you.
I will do that. And I look forward to seeing you guys